For Center 1, you've already clicked the screencast, so you should be sitting at your seat with a yellow piece of paper that has a copy of this poem, Sarah Cynthia Stout Would Not Take the Garbage Out. It has a front and a back. And what you're going to be doing today is first just annotating the poem, just like we did in class with the bat. So it might be helpful for you to have your interactive notebook out, open to page 28. These are the notes that we've been using to analyze poetry. And on page 29, you had the poem The Bat, which should be all marked up. We looked at the form, we labeled anything that we noticed about the stanzas, what type of stanza, the way the lines were grouped, anything that we saw with rhyme, if we found end rhyme or internal rhyme, if we had a rhythm, we explained it, any words that repeated or sounds for alliteration, any imagery, we explained what sense it appealed to. For figurative language, we identified what type of figurative language and what it helped us visualize, and then to the speaker. So you're definitely going to want to have your notes out on page 28, and you might be flipping back and forth to page 29. And looking at the poem, Sarah Cynthia Sylvia Stout Would Not Take the Garbage Out. So I'm going to read the poem. If you are okay doing it on your own, you can stop here and just get your notes out and start annotating. So I want to see lots of different colored pens and pencils, highlighters, things explaining, not just highlighting, but explaining what you see as far as these elements are concerned in the poem. After the poem is marked up, then you can go here and start answering some of these questions and explaining. When you get to this point here, writing an extended response. In class, I started to do this. If you need a little bit of help with it, you can raise your hand and I'll come help you. But again, you're going back and looking at all the notes that you found and seeing which element you think you could explain the best tied to the poem, and you're going to write a paragraph here about it. All right. Sarah Cynthia Sylvia Stout Would Not Take the Garbage Out by Shel Silverstein. Sarah Cynthia Sylvia Stout would not take the garbage out. She'd scour the pots and scrape the pans, candy the yams and spice the hams. And though her daddy would scream and shout, she simply would not take the garbage out. And so it piled up to the ceilings, coffee grounds, potato peelings, brown bananas, rotten peas, chunks of sour cottage cheese. It filled the can, it covered the floor, it cracked the window and blocked the door, with bacon rinds and chicken bones, drippy ends of ice cream cones, prune pits, peach pits, orange peel, gloppy glumps of cold oatmeal, pizza crusts and withered greens, soggy beans and tangerines, crusts of black-burned buttered toast, gristly bits of beefy roasts. The garbage rolled on down the hall. It raised the roof. It broke the wall. Greasy napkins, cookie crumbs, globs of gooey bubble gum, cellophane from green bologna, rubbery, blubbery macaroni, peanut butter caked and dry, curdled milk and crusts of pie, moldy melons, dried up mustard, eggshells mixed with lemon custard, cold French fries and rancid meat, yellow lumps of cream of wheat. At last the garbage reached so high that it finally touched the sky, and all the neighbors moved away, and none of her friends would come to play. And finally, Sarah Cynthia Stout said, "Okay, I'll take the garbage out." But then, of course, it was too late. The garbage reached across the state, from New York to the Golden Gate. And there in the garbage she did hate, poor Sarah met an awful fate that I cannot now relate, because the hour is much too late. But children, remember Sarah Stout, and always take the garbage out. All right, what I would suggest is maybe using a different colored pen or highlighter for each of the different elements. That might help when it goes to answering your questions and annotating and writing your extended response. If you don't finish this, this is homework and it is due tomorrow for you. When you finish, you can work on either reading your Middle Ages novel or doing your article of the week.